Hey everyone, just before we begin the episode proper, I just want to let everybody know this episode does have some slight audio issues. So the audio may sound crappy at some points, but I tried to fix it the best I could. So, with that apology out of the way, onto the review. So, in this finale episode of Boku no Hero Academia, the stage is set for a war.
Is it a war or is it a liberation?
It is intense, whatever it is.
Yeah. Not a lot to say about this one so much. A lot of it's just wrapping up stuff we already knew. We do find out what some of the others do. A lot of them were just like, oh, we've honed what we're able to do. Just we're better at it now. So nothing really has changed. Nothing new here. A lot of it's just kind of wrapping up what we already seen. Like a little bit is from Hawk's perspective. He did in fact get at the very minimum a lookalike to give Best Genist over to Dabi. What he plans to do, I don't know. Maybe make a new Nomu out of him. That'd be kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Shigaraki's all like, oh man, he finally learns about one for all as a quirk. Which I don't think he ever knew before. I don't think he realized it was a quirk specifically. Then we get back to the kids. The kids have nothing really new outside of like the first three, which are Mina, who now has created like acid armor for herself to wear.
Yeah.
Like coating her body in acid.
I can't stop sparkling with his naval saber now.
Yep, he's got a little naval sword. And Toru now has the ability to like bend light that doesn't just include herself. So now she can make other things invisible on top of bending naval laser.
Which is interesting.
A really cool combo. Really cool that other things can go invisible. I'm curious what the time limit is on that, or maybe it's a range thing. It's got to be within a certain range of her. Or how many things she can make invisible.
Maybe.
Outside of that, everyone else is just like, oh, we got better at the thing. And, each one is their own little thing. We got to see which person they studied under. What else did we get? A lot of it was that. We got to see Eri a little bit. Her horn's grown back, so now her quirk's going to start going off. Here's an interesting thing I thought of because of the end of this episode. Near the end, they show Aizawa talking to All Might. All Might saying like he's going to help with her training. And I'm curious if this leads to something.
Leads to what?
Would Eri be able to reverse All Might back to the point before he was injured? I don't think he'd get one for all back, but he might get the embers restoked.
Oh.
Curious if that's possible.
I am not 100% sure now.
That's possible. That'd be really cool, because you could actually have Deku and All Might team up for a second. Solve his whole feelings of like being powerless or useless too. That means he would constantly be going back to Eri if he was, going to do that.
Yeah.
Something he'd hold in his back pocket until he needed. That I found really interesting as an idea. As for the rest of this, we got talks of what the fuck President Mike and Aizawa would do if they ever figured out who was creating the Nomu and what they do to the people there. Which they're not exactly too happy after finding out their friend's a living husk for somebody else's intentions. They're understandably not happy.
And then we cut to Deku and All Might talking to each other, and All Might has done some research on the prior users of One for All. Except he can't find out too much detail on the second and third users. So it's going to be really interesting what's in that notebook.
We have some nice banter back and forth between Bakugo and Deku just being like, oh man, I gotta learn float next. And Bakugo just being like, fuck you, I'm gonna get better because I already know how to fly. So some nice background about that. A point being made that none of the quirks that the users originally had were that strong. However, One for All seemed to improve them, much like what All Might said at one point in the past. And even more so now that they've been incorporated into the quirk itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a nice little like hot pot party going on in the dorms.
Yeah.
And then we get to talk with Aizawa. We get the fact that Shigaraki's getting experimented on. And just the setup for apparently a big operation combination with all of the different hero organizations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some kind of, what's the word? Some kind of like getting all the citizens out. I'm blanking on the word for it. Oh, my brain. Why?
Exodus?
No, evacuation. And that's about it. We get a nice little scene of a kid looking up at a statue, and his mom's like, "You gonna be going to first grade?" And he looks up at the All Might statue, and he's all like, "Yeah, I can do it." I guess kind of emphasizing the point of like, even as a retired hero, All Might is still inspiring people with just his legacy.
Okay.
That's really it. There's not much. I've just kind of wrapped it up.
Yeah.
There are no big revelations outside of just, hey, learn the float thing now. Hell, even the quirks that they did find in All Might's notebook, Bakugo didn't mention what they were. He just said that they were weaker. So he doesn't even give us the hint of what those are.
I wonder what they would be.
I have no clue. I do realize that Float and Black Whip would work really well together for just speed moving around.
Yeah.
Outside of that, which is something we already figured out due to us knowing that she had the quirk Float, nothing else is changed. Nothing new. The only new information is the possibility of what Eri could do for All Might at this point, and that's it. There's not really much to theorize on otherwise. Like, I don't even know where to start as far as theorizing on what the next season could possibly be. Outside of just the obvious, oh, it's a clash with the wars, with the Liberation Army. Woo.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either.
This is a really short one. There's nothing to talk about, really.
Yeah, because like
nothing.
The big battle happened last time.
Big battle happened. There's no real new information that we didn't already know. But like, other than just confirming Best Jeanist was in fact taken, or at the very minimum, a lookalike. Dobby claims he killed him. I highly doubt that he was actually killed. Or not Dobby killed him, but that Hawks killed Best Jeanist. But I highly doubt that was the case.
But what if that actually did happen?
I highly doubt that is the case. And honestly, if it's just a lookalike corpse that he may have gotten from a morgue somewhere, Dobby would literally never know. Well, fuck it. If somebody has the ability to, say, turn an object into something that looks like a human, or a similar quirk to something that Toga has, like, there is plenty of options in here for there to be a quirk that just pulls a fake out. Or, it could be that supposed thing where it's like, you eat... Forget what it is. I remember reading about it at some point, where, like, it's like a drug that basically emulates death in your body. Like, it slows down your heart rate and everything to the point where people would just assume you're dead.
Okay.
For a certain amount of time, and then after that time has passed, you resuscitate, essentially.
Oh.
It could literally be something like that, and Genist is gonna fucking break out once that timer's up. Like there are a lot of different things there, and that's not that's including the ability of just a random quirk user that can do something stupid like that. And to just make it seem real, Genist is just, laying low.
Because we did see Hawks sneaking up behind Genus with a feather blade.
We did see that. That doesn't really mean much, honestly, because it doesn't. A lot of it's all implication and not actually showing us what he did.
Oh, so there could be.
There's enough there to give you a viable sense of doubt.
Okay, but there could be the sense that there was a clone and that's who Hawks killed.
Could be. He'd have to make it look real, too, especially if he's being watched by the League at that point, or at least he believes it.
Yeah. Interesting.
So yeah, outside of that, and the All Might thing, not much to speculate on here.
Well, it is the season finale with the big battle happening last time.
Hoping they'd leave us with a little bit more of a cliffhanger here, but they didn't. Because we just got, a new operation's happening. And we're looking out at a cityscape. That's it.
Yeah.
So, not as interesting of a end time thing as an end episode as I would have thought. Short review this time, I guess. I don't know how long we've been recording.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have time just to say that this. We had feelings last time that the Meta Liberation arc should have came first because it was less of a big end. Is that what we were saying last week?
That was the reasoning, as far as I am aware, as to why they had flipped the order of these things. Because otherwise, the last fight is literally against that crazy dude in Endeavor, where he's holding his son hostage. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not exactly a great banger of a last episode, or, second to last episode.
So would you say this was a weaker season?
I feel like it, because the pacing's all over the place, and there's a lot of stuff that you just destroy any dramatic tension for by doing it this way. The entire second half is just like, well, we know these guys are alive and well. We've seen them in the future already.
So it takes away any sort of suspense.
Takes away any suspense, makes it so that no fights actually have any, dramatic potential consequences. They're all going to be fine. You just don't know how they get to the point of being in charge, but you can pretty much draw your conclusions. You can draw, one of 3 potential outcomes as to why they're in charge all of a sudden. It's not that hard to figure out.
So I guess that's it for this episode. I don't know what we'll be doing between this now and next season, if we'll be doing any other reviews of series.
No idea yet. I haven't found anything from this upcoming season that seems interesting. I don't know if you would want to take a look at previous ones just to be like, hey, let's look at that for a bit.
Maybe.
Or if we would rather save them for our full-on BBDA.
Yeah. So be sure to check that out when you have a chance. We have a bunch more videos on the channel. Like, comment, subscribe. We would humbly appreciate it.
Do it. Do it. If you don't use a bitch.
Yes. Maybe. I don't want to insult them too much.
They're cowards. I bet they couldn't hit the subscribe button even if they dared to use their fingers.
We dare you to hit that subscribe button.
They won't do it. They're cowards. They can't do it.
So, until we talk to you again in your ear holes, we will catch you later.
They really like our tongues in their ear holes, don't they?
They prefer voices in their ear holes.
No, they like the tongues. Nice and slimy sloppiness of our words.
Dude, that's just weird.
That's the point. Feel the weirdness in your ear holes. Feel it and enjoy.
Is that our new tagline?
You know, I didn't think about that, but we could totally make it happen.